and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 91. We're going to be talking about some NFL updates today. Only one of those. Masters as we come into Masters weekend. And we are going to finish the episode with the Mount Rushmores of wide receivers. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Sox.
Travel been to Indiana. And did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. So starting us off right off the bat today, let's get some of this NFL updates. Big news out of Pittsburgh. TJ Watt kind of gives a cryptic message on his Instagram post about saying peace out. What'd you think about that one today?
Yeah. What's going on? Is he the next one that's saying, hey, I want my bag? You know, if I don't get my bag, I'm going to retire, or what's going on? I don't see that coming from him. I mean, his family is very buttoned up, so I don't know what's going on. But is it a sign that, hey, it's time to pay me? Everybody else on the front end has gotten it. Where's mine at, Pittsburgh?
Yeah, no, it definitely came from him. I mean, it's his Instagram post.
Right.
It's him making this message. I think it's the same thing we were talking about with Trey Hendrickson, is you have to be vocal. And he's asked for this extension. They didn't even want to come into this year to talk about this. He wanted to have it done last year. Pittsburgh didn't want to get it done. So now you waited, and the market now just exploded this offseason. And to not put him up there with Myles Garrett is absolutely crazy. Yeah. But does Pittsburgh want to pay that? Hell no. So now it's like, you know what? You dicked around, and I want my money. So either I go on, because it's not like J.J. Watt played his one place his whole career either. If TJ needs to move on, he'll move on this one. I laugh about the cryptic. I did see one of the reporters said, if a player goes and speaks out, they want something done. It comes to that.
Yeah, so, most definitely. I mean, and that's the deal, is that they're usually pretty quiet unless they want a deal. They want, hey, come on, pay me. I think I deserve it. He's probably a Hall of Fame right now, a Hall of Fame DN or DTAC DN. I mean, and linebacker. I mean, he's right there. So it's time. Pay me.
Yeah, and that's honestly one of our trivias that we had was the tied for the record. TJ's up there. I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame career, and obviously, I think he's just a Super Bowl shy of honestly having an outstanding career. I mean, his brother doesn't have one of those, so giving him one would be an amazing task. But the only other news that happened out of the NFL this week was also Shedeur Sanders might be going to do training for the Steelers, which they're kind of saying that this might be a clock to Aaron Rodgers. Make a decision on this one. What do you think about this? Do you think it's a scare tactic? Because they're going to have to move up in the draft to get him.
Yeah, and they're not known to do that. I can see the Giants maybe doing that, moving up, but I don't see them guys moving up. I mean, but you never know. I mean, this could be Tomlin's last. Hey, do something. We got to do something. I mean, we can't just keep being not really mediocre, but always, you make the playoffs usually like a one and done. We need to make a run at this. And in our division with Burrow and Lamar Jackson, we need to go after a good quarterback, somebody that's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your problem, though. And I think that's honestly the problem is Aaron Rodgers ain't a franchise quarterback. He's on his back end of his career. Yeah. You might get 1, maybe 2 years out of, and you're asking for 1. I mean, that's all you're asking for. Just come play this year. You're really not even asking. Yeah. So when you go to do this, it's kind of funny because at the same time you're like, oh, here we go. We're putting our foot down, Shedeur. And then at the same time, we're just talking about TJ Watt going, all right, so what's happening? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't act hard and then not pay me. So I do think it's a scare tactic. I also think it's one of these things where we're 2 weeks out today before the draft. Like, come on. There has to be a decision made for Aaron Rodgers, whether it's Minnesota. I only can think that he's holding out for Minnesota. That's the only thing I can think of. There's no other reason that it would take this long to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You throw him balls. He knows the coaches. He's been in the NFL long enough. It's got to be someone else in his ear, and I believe it because there's no way that Minnesota's saying that they haven't talked to him at all or anything. They're keeping covered. Because then why hasn't he signed? There has to be something we don't know, and Aaron keeps his group very tight, so I feel like that's why we just haven't heard anything.
Well, and that's like I said, we're 2 weeks away. Some of these teams, they got to make a decision.
Yeah.
Should we get off the pot? Let's make a decision on this. I mean, I can see now Pittsburgh backing away from this.
Yeah,
I really can. I really can. And which would be in the driver's seat for Minnesota. If I was any of the 32 teams with Aaron Rodgers, I'd pass on him. Like I said, he's on his back nine. If he can get you he's got one more good year, I think, and that's it. But he just keeps pissing with people. Why would you want shit like that? I wouldn't. I wouldn't mess with him.
I don't know, man. There was some lot of bad quarterbacks that played last year. And to think that Aaron Rodgers might be out there, but he might be a mid-season sign. But speaking of back nine, we are on to the Masters. March Madness finishes up. We get the great Masters right after. It's one of a kind. There's nothing like it. And why I say there's nothing like it, because the history of it, the appearance of it, the environment. But I have a question for you to start before we get into the Masters. You are able to attend one of these events, but only one. And in these events, your favorite team, no matter the sport, is playing in it. Which one are you attending? Are you attending a Masters on Sunday, the Super Bowl, College Football Championship, Game 7 World Series, Game 7 NBA Finals, a March Madness Championship, Game 7 Stanley Cup, or a World Cup Championship? Only one you can attend. Which one are you going to attend? Money's not a price.
If you had asked me this 20, 30 years ago, I would have said Game 7 of the World Series. Do or die.
Yeah.
Now, baseball has been so far away from it, I would probably have to say the Super Bowl. It's my favorite sport right now, is football. I mean, it's a bucket list that you go once, say you've been there, and you don't have to go back ever again.
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate prize is go watch Super Bowl.
I do love the thought of Game 7s, but Game 7s are the Super Bowl. Let's just be honest with it is.
That's true.
Like,
because it's one game. Right.
When people say Game 7, now don't get me wrong, there is some chippiness that happens Game 1 through 6 that might lead to a Game 7. I think an NHL would be amazing, right? Because of the fan groups. I think NBA Finals, okay. World Series, okay. Cubs playing in the World Series. You would ask me before they won the last World Series, I would say I'd give my left leg to be at a Game 7 World Series. Oh, wait. I had to go do that at a bar, and I'll tell you right now, it was as fun as if I was there. But I agree. I think you have to go with the Super Bowl. I think a Masters on a Sunday back with Tigers era, but we're also not too far from a Tigers era happening right now. But I think you should say Super Bowl. It's the halftime show. It's the pregame. It's all the things. They make it one of the best entertainments in the world. You would have to go, and if you didn't go, you'll never go again. Right? Like, because you'll never have the option to go again. It's so expensive. It's so hard to get into. So I didn't know if a college football championship might sway you a little bit. But at the same time, we just got Notre Dame in the championship this last one. And maybe if Notre Dame hadn't been there for a while.
Well, and you make it see a blowout. That's the bad deal. The last few years has not been really good games. A hockey one wouldn't be bad because if they were really close, I mean, usually there's not a lot of scoring. So if you got into sudden death, Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final, that'd be pretty sweet. I still think the Super Bowl. I mean, like I said, a Game 7 World Series. I mean, it's do or die. I mean, this is it. So.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was something like if Cubs back in the day. But I think an honorable mention there, I put World Cup Championship because the crowds for World Cups is absolutely crazy. We have great fans in America, but other countries, when it comes to soccer, is just crazy. The light shows, the fireworks, everything like that. That would be cool to see. But again, I don't have a favorite team, so I would just go to see it. But we are on to the Masters, so we didn't decide on Masters on Sunday. It's just like March Madness, that first week of March Madness, where Thursday we start us off. We kind of say, okay, what are we looking at this year? And then Friday, we're saying, okay, who's kind of contending for the weekend? Saturday and Sunday gets hot and heavy. It's awesome. Right down. But before that all gets started, we do a par 3 contest. And what'd you think about that par 3 contest?
I watch it every year. I'm not a big golf fan.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the majors, I do watch a little bit more often. Usually when I are watching before the majors, it's a good napping kind of telecast. So, but I love the par 3. The one thing that stood out to me was the wife of I don't know what his last name, how to pronounce it, Rye, where she hits a par 3 shot, or he hits his par 3 shot, and it's way off, and she hits it, and it goes like damn near to the cup. Yeah. And it's like, even the commentators go, maybe he should ask her for a little bit of not entertainment, but something to help him better, because she outshot him, and it was good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When you watch the par 3 contest, you're always like, born into the wrong family. Because it's all about the families, right? It is one of these things where you see little kids out there, you see wives, husbands, things like that happening. I think the coolest moment of this one was Rory's daughter. It looks like it's a long putt, and she just taps it, right? And everyone's like, oh, okay. And then the ball just keeps going. And then it keeps going. Right. And then, like, you could see in the Shane Lowry that he throws his club like, holy shit, this is going in. And then it goes in, and the crowd goes crazy. It was a Tiger Woods putt. That's how crazy the crowd went. And it scared her. She couldn't even move. And the other daughter came over, and Rory's like, put her down. And then she came into Rory, and it was like, I think Rory's hoping he gets one of these moments this weekend. Like, his daughter hits that. But it's very cool that they get to bring their families into it. Some players don't do it. If you watch the full swing on Netflix, some players don't do it because they want to focus. I want to focus. It's the biggest weekend of the year, blah, blah, blah. I think this is a great moment to lock in. And what I mean by that is you get to show the family, hang out with them for a bit, and then as soon as that moment's over, it's time. It's like where you kind of feel the pressure when you get there and all that. I think these are cool. But there's nothing like that either, right? There's there's not a pre-Super Bowl, unless you want to say the Puppy Bowl. But there's no pre-Super Bowl to this. But very cool to see that everyone gets to be a part of that. We do finish Thursday. It is still kind of happening as we're recording, but it looks like Justin Rose is going to take the lead after Thursday. 6 birdies and 10 holes. What'd you think about that one?
Yeah, he's killing it. I mean, I just watched the last 2 holes. He birdied both of them. He's now got like a 4-shot lead. It's about he's flirting right now, which I don't think he did, because he just shot on 17 and shot it right into the trees. So, but he's flirting with the record. 62, which nobody has shot at 62 at the Masters ever. So I mean, he is just killing it right now, and he's blowing everybody. He's blowing the doors off everybody after the first day, which we all know that'll come back to reality. He ain't gonna shoot if he shoots like that all 4 rounds. He deserves it. Yeah,
I see that he did finish in 4 under, which so it looks like he might have not done so well 16 and 17. But I mean, it's still one of these things where first day is like about getting your feet wet, right? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna see a lot of people that come out of this equal, -1, maybe +1. You're right there on that border of like, okay, I just need to go in there. John Rahm has struggled awful in this. You saw the other one, I can't think of his name, the young boy, Justin Thomas, or I think his name is. Yeah. He struggled a little bit as well. That doesn't mean much right now. No. Now, you could throw yourself out day 1, but you can't win it day 1. No. Like, I would love to think that at the end of this, we say, this Rose, he won it. Because that means they dominated all weekend. But there's one guy that's sitting there just waiting like a shark in the water, and that is Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. Scotty Scheffler enters, I think he came out -1 or equal after day 1.
Right.
Maybe -2, but still right there, right? And to finish that one, he's going 3 for 4 in the last 4 years of the championships. He's going for this 3rd one. What do you think? Do you think he gets it this year?
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think that it's going to be. I think that there's too much competition. I don't think he's going to get it. I think the pressure may get to him a little bit when it gets down to Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. I don't think he's going to get it. I really don't.
Yes.
I think there's somebody. I got the field.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
You got the
when
field.
It comes to that. Yeah. When it comes to that, I don't think he's going to get it. If I had to bet, between the field and Scheffler, I'd take the field.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
a
don't
lot of
think-
people. That's a lot of people. I will be
Right.
honest with you, but I
But
definitely
the
also
only top 50 make it past Saturday.
agree.
Into
Agree.
Saturday. So
Yeah, I mean, but you're taking 49 people out of one person.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think pressure is a problem with him. Like if you watch the swing, I think he's shown that he can collect his attitude. His John Rahm almost like threw his club today after
I was watching that. I was like, oh.
yeah, and honestly, the Masters is one of these things where we watch it and you're sitting there being like, I could probably hit a better ball than that one. Okay, hold on, relax,
Yeah.
okay? Because they make these plays. I love how the analytics are now kind of getting into it a little bit too, where they show how high a hole is compared to where they're standing. Like that would be just so breathtaking. Of like, how the hell am I going to hit that ball up there? But when you see John Rahm throw his club like that, you're like, yep, been there. Glad he didn't break it because I've done that. So it is one of these things. I just think with Scheffler, he just stays in the water and he swims and he swims and he swims and then he lets other people make their mistakes and he takes over. I think we are on this Tiger-esque. Just the way he's playing and taking over. He's lucky. Hopefully tomorrow he hits no police officers on his way in so that we don't have any problem there. But he's honestly just the face of PGA. But who do you got winning it this year if it's not Scotty since you're taking the field?
I like Colin Morikawa.
Oh, God.
He was 14-1 start of this tournament. The last 3 years, he's averaged top 5.
Yeah.
I think this could be his year. I really do. And I would have bet him at the beginning of this doing this. I like him, and he's right now at even, so he's not that far back.
Yeah, no. I absolutely cannot stand Colin. And here's why. Here's why I cannot stand Colin. Because he's one of these guys that like comes till Sunday and he's with the league group, right? And you're like, oh yeah, here we go. And he just finds a way to just choke. And it pisses me off so bad because I've rooted for this guy so many times. I want him to win. And not just Masters. I'm talking about other golfing events. I've just been like, all right, Colin, here we go. This is the one. And then like hits it in a bunker. And it's like, dude, chill out. Just relax. Now, saying that, my winner is one of these guys that you say, damn it, man. Come on. And it's Rory. I want Rory to win it. If I had to put money on it, I'm putting it on Scotty because Scotty's just too good. But who I'm rooting for this weekend is Rory. I think the daughter moment, kind of another moment of you're like, I just want Rory to win, right? Rory has been the face of the PGA during this whole PGA Live bullshit. I just want Rory to be back on the top. And a Masters is what it is. He can win championships and he can do other golfing events, but it's a Masters that we need out of him. I'm just hoping he does it because if not, Rory is kind of getting freaking tired.
Well, and this is the last leg of his of the 4 majors. This is the one he hasn't won yet. So you think it's about time. I seen him do a couple of putts today, and you just can get that feeling if a player's on and he just missed that putt, and it's just like I don't know. And he is the overwhelming fan favorite right now.
Yeah,
that's everybody wants him. Everybody wants him to win. They think this is the year. This year. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Scheffler is still lurking, and I agree with what you're saying as far as he just lets everybody make their own errors. And then he sneaks in for the kill.
Well, and I think when you think of PGA, you think of Rory. But when you think of Liv, you think of DeChambeau, right? Yeah. And I think those two fight on who's the fan favorite. I think DeChambeau has definitely become, because of his YouTube and his pack, the package he brings outside of the golf. But Rory is just buttoned up. He is there like to the start, to the finish. So we'll have to see as the weekend goes. I will say the one thing that got taken away from today was the greens were like concrete by the end of it. Yeah. Obviously that's, start to finish. I remember last year, wasn't it like super windy? Where this year,
windy, I think it was rainy as well. I thought the greens were really soft.
Yeah.
Like when it got to the weekend, I think they got a little bit of rain and then it really slowed the ball down quite a bit.
Yeah, so we'll have to see as we go into this weekend. It's a good, Mr. Tim Cook said here, you could take a nap during it, or you could be in part of it.
Right.
it is one of these things where it kind of starts early and kind of finishes
Yeah.
at a decent time where you can go do something later that night as well. So a good weekend coming up with the Masters. But the Masters, after the Masters, we are on to playoffs. The NHL playoffs starts April 19th. Also, the NBA playoffs start on April 19th. We'll talk more about that as we come into it. Now, we do have to be honest. We're not huge NBA fans and not huge NHL fans. So we're not going to give you in-depth criticism and things like that, but we'll give you the highlights, right? We'll talk about some of these games and things that happen. I'll probably take the NHL side, you take the NBA side.
Okay.
We'll kind of see what we come out with on
Right.
that. We'll pick our winners for both of those next week, even though, again, like we said, we're not professionals. Don't give a shit if we name people wrong. I'm just watching the
Right.
sport, okay?
Right.
And hey, don't be exclusive because y'all do that shit all the time. So we're just trying to be a part of it. But that takes us to our Mount Rushmore segment today. Now, we are doing Mount Rushmores of wide receivers in the NFL. And the way we're going to do it is a little different than we've done in the past. Once someone says their person's name, they are off the list. So we will not have the same list at all. We want the fans to vote on who has the better list at the end of it. We will have, Mr. Tim Cook will go first. I will go next until we have our top four. So remember, we cannot name the same people. So who has the best wide receiver group? Let's start you off right now. What do you got for your number one wide receiver?
The GOAT, Jerry Rice, the man, 22,000 yards, receiving 197 yards, TDs, both NFL records, 3-time Super Bowl champ. He scored in a 12-game season. This is before the 16 and the 17. 22 touchdowns in 87.
Yep.
The longevity with him, the stats say for themselves. The longevity, I mean, he did play for a few teams. I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, he's the best of all time. I'm sorry, he is.
Yeah, when it comes to wide receivers, I definitely think, and like you said, longevity, the one thing is the game is definitely a passing league, but can you play that long? Very doubtful. For my number one, I am going with the best deep ball threat of all time. My favorite, became a Vikings fan because of this guy, is Randy Moss. Obviously, just the way he played the game, the one-handed catches, and the atmosphere he brought on. He was the first prima donna wide receiver, I feel like, when we talk about these, oh, man, they're drama queens, they're doing all this. The moon in the Green Bay Packers, I will always remember that moment when he fake mooned him by the goalpost because I think it was a Monday night game. I had to go to school the next day, and I was like, oh my gosh. Bring straight cash, homie. But on the field, he was just amazing. Like, it was, defenses feared him. Randy Moss has got to be number one on my list. Who do you got number two?
I mean, he is, the deep threat. I mean, for his career, he averaged 18 yards a catch.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Crazy. Yeah. My second one, Steve Largent. He played for the Seattle Seahawks. 13,000 yards receiving, 100 touchdowns. He held every major record as a wide receiver before he retired. He was the first wide receiver to have 100 touchdowns in his career. You got to put him right there. He had longevity as well. I mean, wasn't like Moss or Rice, but he was clutch. You needed somebody to catch the ball. He could do it. He didn't play on great teams. The Seattle teams were not good. I don't even know if they even played in a Super Bowl. And he had Dave Craig as his, which was a decent quarterback, but not a Hall of Famer. I think he had Warren Moon, but that was when Largent was at the end and Moon was, bouncing around. But overall, just clutch player.
Yeah, for my number two, so I think we're seeing a little bit of the generation change here too. For my number two, I'm going with Terrell Owens. 14,934 yards, 153 touchdowns. There was a time when people were like, T.O. is touchdown. Like, T.O. is the guy. If you remember, he came back to play in a Super Bowl off of a broken leg or something like crazy like that. Yeah. He did sit-ups in his parking lot or in his driveway to let you know he was ready. You know what I mean? Like, T.O., when you think of wide receivers, just the way he made plays. And I go Randy Moss and I got T.O. If that's my team right now, you cannot cover it. You cannot. No cover two, never cover four, nothing. I'm taking T.O. for my second one.
And you know what, Anthony? The one I remember him the most, other than the broken leg, I remember in a playoff game. I think it was against the Packers. Can't remember if it was the Packers or the Cowboys. He made a catch in the middle of the for a touchdown, for the game-winning touchdown. He got rocked.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hit right in the ear hole. And when he came up, you could see his hand over his ear hole. He was in pain, but he held on to the ball.
Yeah.
That was when I think Mariucci was coaching for the 49ers. He made one hell of a catch in a playoff game. I was like, damn, that was him.
He had the best celebrations of all time. Like best celebrator.
The signing of the football. Oh yeah.
Or the popcorn or whatever, the dancing, best celebrator. Who do you got for your number 3 on your list?
I got Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Yeah.
You can't not deny him of being in there. 11,000 yards, most physically gifted receiver probably to ever play the game. And he was one just like the running back that played on that team, Barry Sanders.
Yep.
He played played in an organization that was going nowhere. And he retired after 9 seasons, kind of like how Barry Sanders did. He knew that this organization wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't doing anything. They weren't doing anything. They weren't helping him out. I might as well get out. And he probably could have played another 3 to 5 more years because he was that strong. And he could go down to the one I remember, I think, is when he made that catch against the Bears and he kind of bobbled it a little bit and they said it was a catch. If they had instant replay and they looked at it today, may not have been a catch.
I thought it was he put the ball to the ground.
You're right.
They said it was not a catch because he put his hand down.
Right.
The ball, even though the ball was absolutely secure. I think when you talk about Calvin Johnson too, best jump ball player of all time. If it was at the goal line, you weren't stopping. I don't care how many people. I mean, I remember seeing 2 people on him in the goal line. That means you were outnumbered if they run the ball. But they knew that if they threw it up, you ain't catching it.
Right.
For my next one, I'm taking a guy that was with one team as well, and I'm going with Marvin Harrison.
Wow.
I think Marvin Harrison, 1,102 receptions, 14,580 receiving yards, 127 receiving touchdowns. Absolute great career. He could outrun you. He could do perfect route running. He's kind of a guy that you think of when the wide receiver position was all about TOs and Randy Moss and these guys that are just freaks of nature. There was a guy that could just do the wide receiver position very well. I think he's a great addition to my team. Marvin Harrison is my number 3.
I you know what I hit that stands out with him? His footwork.
Yeah.
His footwork. He could get them 2 feet in bounds. I mean, Peyton Manning was throwing him dimes. Yeah. And like an out pattern and get his feet in bounds every time. Every stink. I mean, they were like a well-oiled machine. That's really the thing I can remember about him the most.
Yeah, definitely agree. Who do you got for your number 4 to wrap up your Mount Rushmore?
I'm going to go even older than Steve Largent. Don Hudson. He had almost 8,000 yards receiving, 99 touchdowns in the 30s and 40s. Where back then they didn't do a lot of passing, more running. I think the biggest thing on with him, he was the only receiver ever to be enshrined in the first Hall of Fame class. You got to put him right there. You got to put, as your Mount Rushmore, because he's the first one. He was the first one in the Hall of Fame. You got to put him there.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess you could. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. I just think when you're talking about best wide receivers, like he ain't that guy. But okay.
Well, but back in the 30s and 40s, yeah, he was.
I get it. I get you. For my 4th, I'm wrapping up. I'm putting 2 Minnesota guys on my team. I'm putting Chris Carter.
I knew it. I knew this is where you're heading.
Yep. I'm taking Chris Carter, 130 receiving yards, 11,001 receptions. So that's definitely a typo. 130 receiving touchdowns, 1,101 receptions. Just a dominant. I mean, an absolute dominant wide receiver. And the size with him, with the speed. I mean, he wasn't the fastest guy on the field, but the way he could get his footwork down and the two-handed, he was the Randy Moss before Randy Moss. Now, I understand Randy Moss was the next coming of, but Chris Carter on this one, I think you got 2 Vikings guys out here. I think they're just absolutely perfect for each other. Oh wait, they were on the same damn team, and we could have won a Super Bowl. Not to bring up bad things, but that is our 4. Do you have any honorable mentions that you would have included on your team?
Yeah, how about Larry Fitzgerald?
Yes,
Good one,
he's on
you
my
know?
list.
Yes. Everybody thought he was washed up after 2014. What'd he do? 3 straight years of 100 catches.
Yep.
Of course, he had Mr. Kurt Warner that was throwing to him, which is now in the Hall of Fame as well. But yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, and here's a stat I seen. In 9 playoff games, Fitz had 57 catches for 942 yards and 10 touchdowns. Moss played in 15 games in the playoffs and had 962 yards and 10 touchdowns. He played in 5 less games.
Yeah.
And had same stats as Moss that played in 5 more games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and some would arguably say that Moss was on better teams. I mean, I'm not going to say that, but I think some of my honorable mentions, Michael Irvin. I think you got to talk about him up there.
That was going to be my next one.
Yeah. Tim Brown's got to be up there as well, just because he did it outside of just being a receiver. It's like one of these things where Devin Hester's a Hall of Famer for his returning, but wide receiver wise, not that guy. Tim Brown did it on both sides, or with receiving and with returning kicks. And my final one that I was hoping we'd get down to, that I know people would be like, I don't know about this one, is Mike Evans. And why I say that is 11 consecutive 1,000 receiving yards. Like, consistency. The absolute fact that he is tied with a Jerry Rice, which is your GOAT.
GOAT, right.
He has to be an honorable mention up there. Another one that I wanted to put up there is Hines Ward. He was a blocking wide receiver, but now as we kind of go on, we're like, there's kind of some cheap shots in there as well. Right. But yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up our wide receiver Mount Rushmore. We'll have to post who had who and then have the people vote to see who had the better wide receiver group if we had to start a team today. But that is episode 91. Crazy. We're almost getting to episode 100. We'll be back on Tuesday. Obviously, recap what happens during the Masters. We'll start talking about NBA and NHL playoffs starting, and then whatever NFL news hits, because something's going to come out by then. But we want to thank everyone. Please go follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. All of them. We're Cover 2 Cook. We appreciate everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Masters. Take a nap if you need to. And we will be back on Tuesday.